Hello and welcome back to Verbose Mode at Spring IO 2025, brought to you by Toxcare. And my next guest is Rick. Rick, thank you very much for joining.
Thanks for letting me join.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Rick, so you mentioned that your talk was about static code analysis in Java with some interesting tools. So tell us a little bit more about it. What are we talking about?
Yeah, nice intro. Indeed, I work for a company called Picnic, and we use a lot of static analysis in our code base. We have one repository that's the main repository, and all the others have the same configuration because of that. And it's a very nice way to set up our static analysis tools for all the code bases that we have. So for example, we use tools like error-prone, checkstyle, open rewrite, and yeah, that helps us a lot with getting a very standard, very very consistent code base with high code quality and a lot of standardization.
Okay, I have questions. I know Open Rewrite, and
Yes.
from my understanding, Open Rewrite is about a rewrite. It's about changing to modernize whatever this word is, bringing up to speed and to the next versions, whatever there is, like upgrading Spring Framework and what's not.
Exactly.
So it's not for finding bugs, in my understanding.
There are some common static analysis issues that you can detect with Open Rewrite, but there's a difference between Open Rewrite and error-prone. And indeed, as you said, Open Rewrite is more for the large-scale one-off things, whereas error-prone is a compile-time static analysis tool, which runs as part of every build. So yeah, whenever it
This
finds...
is one of those checks that you run at the build to not only to verify that the tests pass, but also to check that your code quality is good.
Exactly, yeah. And you can
Sonar...
go even further. Yes, but the nice difference about it is that most of these static analysis tools only point out that there's something wrong with your code. But the cool thing about error-prone is that it can also automatically fix it for you. So first, when you run the build, it points out, hey, there's an error here, but it also shows a suggested fix, and it says like, hey, you can fix it by writing this code. And then if you run error-prone in patch mode, it will find all the violations that you have, automatically fix them for you, so that you don't need to do anything about it.
Okay, this is scary. It is scary because we are already at the point when a lot of code is written for us by AI assistants and engines and what's not. And now there is even more automation that changes the code.
Yeah, I see your concern, but this is a tool that has already been around for a long time, and it's not using AI, and it is more for keeping some of the things that, the more basic things correct. So it's not about very large rewrites, it's very simple things, like for example the Sonar Cloud, Sonar Cube things. If it finds something and you're fixing it for the 10th time, do you want to do that manually or not? Like you can be very sure about the quality, and that's also the reasoning behind error-prone, is that whatever things it finds, it must be like almost guaranteed correct to change it. Otherwise, the check is not proper.
But I still have the last say, right? I will
Exactly.
review the changes and whether accept them or reject them.
Exactly. So we have a script that you can run to automatically apply it on your whole code base. But the idea is that if you forget to check if there are any violations, what our CI does, it says, hey, there is a violation, it fails the build, you cannot merge it. So you need to run the patch script, and after you did that, you indeed can see the changes. Do I agree with them or not? And then you can commit them or not, and then the CI is green again.
Makes sense. Speaking about AI-generated code, I think those tools, static code analysis, are now even more important because there obviously will be a lot of erroneous patterns in the AI-generated code that those tools can actually catch and then fix in bulk without relying on the stochastic LLM non-deterministic code generation.
And what also helps is if you're, so we have many of these rules, and you can also write your own rules to go even further with consistency. So for example, let's say you have 3 or more different ways of writing one and the same thing in your code base. We can write rules to have the 3 different variants all be rewritten to one variant. So your code base gets more consistent. Again, this is one simple example, but if you have thousands of rules, then your code base gets so much more consistent, which also for if you would train the LLM on your code base, it's already so much more standardized and consistent that probably the output would also be better in that sense.
Fascinating, interesting. All right, and you said it's an open source tool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a tool from Google.
From Google.
Google/error-prone. You can use it. And what we did at Picnic is we wrote a lot of rules on top of that. So there are basically two tools. You have error-prone and refaster. Error-prone is more the powerful tool behind everything. And then Google also open sourced refaster, which is a DSL with which you can specify these easy refactorings that I just mentioned. So you can easily write in 10 minutes, you can define a rule that does these rewrites for you. And the combination of that, we really liked that, so we wrote a lot of those rules, and then we also open sourced this repository, so that everyone can use those, and that's where my workshop is partially about.
Wow, excellent. And the DSL is, how does it implement it? It's Kotlin?
No, it's actually Java.
DSL in Java?
Yeah, so it is very familiar.
Challenging. Okay.
Yeah, so you have like a before template and an after template, which is basically then shown by a method, by an annotation, the add before template, add after template. And there in a simple expression you can say, hey, this is the code I want to match, this is how the code should look like, and the rest will be taken care of.
And this again looks like very useful for checking AI generated code, because there are patterns that are implemented over and over again, because that's what model learned upon. So this is what it consistently generates every time, and if it's wrong every time in exactly the same way, we can actually fix it automatically.
Yeah, we can.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
Rick, today we learned Google/CodeProne?
Error-prone.
Error-prone.
We have our open source repository. It's Picnic Supermarket/error-prone support.
Excellent. So, folks, you check it out, and stay tuned for more episodes of Verbose Mode that are coming right up. Rick, thank you.
Thanks for being here.